Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Stacey. This is going to be the first few books that I read in the month of August. I'm going to try to do several reading update videos through this month and see how it goes, because by the end of the month my memory really stinks. So I'm only going to be talking about 3 books in this video. Hopefully that's like the sweet spot for me. The first book I want to talk about is A Heart Adrift by Franz. This is a historical Christian fiction set during the Revolutionary time period in Virginia. I've been really wanting to read this ever since it came out back in January. I think it came out in January. Mainly because I love things that are set in Virginia, and this one is set in Williamsburg and York, and I'm very familiar with that area. I homeschooled my kids and we used to go on field trips there, taught a lot of early Virginian histories. I haven't read anything from Franz yet, but I know she is like a very well-loved historical fiction author. I also really loved the cover for this book. It is stunning, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I started reading it and I'm at 65% and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna DNF it. It's been a real struggle for me to get to this point, and I keep waiting for something to happen to pique my interest, and nothing is happening in this book. It's generally about this man and a woman who were in love, and he is a captain of a ship, and her father was a captain or worked with the ship, and her dad was gone all the time, and she felt bad that her mom was always home alone, and so she said that she couldn't marry this man that she was in love with because he was basically married to the sea. So they went their separate ways, and now he's back in town and they're realizing they really do love each other and they missed each other. And that's basically the entire plot of the story, is them kind of running into each other in random places, and there's this awkwardness, and them kind of denying to the people around them, like, no, I really don't like that person anymore. No, I'm sorry it didn't work out. I'm pretty sure I'm DNFing this book. The next one I just finished yesterday while I was waiting at the car dealership. I had a recall in my car. So that book is The Shadow of the Storm by Connilynn, Cossette, and this is book 2 of the Out of Egypt series. This is biblical fiction set during the time of the Exodus. It's during that 40-year period where the Hebrews are wandering the wilderness. This follows the same family that was in book 1. So I would recommend reading book 1 before you read this book. I'm kind of bummed out about this book also because although this book is very well written, Connilynn Cossette is just top notch in her writing and her research that she puts into her biblical fiction. This book is very heavily character driven, whereas I feel the last book was very plot driven and story driven with the plagues. It really focused on the plague stuff, which I was really interested in. This book is very much about midwifery. The main character is attempting to become a midwife and working through issues that she's having with that. And a lot of the book is about the births that are going on and the problems and a little conflict that she's having with another midwife, and I just wasn't that into it. I am looking forward to book 3 because I loved the series that takes place after this series, the City of Refuge series, and I know that that series picks up on stuff that happens in the 3rd book of this series, so I'm looking forward to reading that and like filling in those connections. But book 2 just was kind of meh for me. I did rate it 4 stars because there really isn't anything wrong with the book. It just wasn't a subject matter I was interested in. There were some scenes with how God was administering his judgment for different things that were going on within the Hebrew camp. I thought those scenes were really cool and interesting. And also, I did cry at the end of the book. There was something that happened that made me get all teary-eyed, which wasn't that fun because I was in the car dealership and there was a lot of people in there, so it was awkward. But yeah, that is about all I've got for that book. And the last book that I finished, I also finished this last night, and that is this book, The Ringmasters Wife by Cambron. And I think Kristin Cambron is going to be a new favorite author for me. Can you say it's a favorite author if you've only read 2 books by the author? Is 2 enough? I don't know. I'm just really loving her writing and the topics that she writes about. So last month I read The Illusionist Apprentice, about a woman who had apprenticed for Harry Houdini. And this book has similar vibes because how she picks such an interesting time period and topic to talk about that I don't think a lot of people do talk about. So this book is historical fiction that takes place through the 1920s, different times, different years in the 1920s and different places. It bounces around quite a lot, and it follows 2 different couples, basically 2 different kind of love stories. One of the love stories is between John Ringling, who was the last Ringling brother to survive. There were 7 of them, I believe, and he was the last one living, and he took over the Ringling Brothers circus. His wife was named Mabel, and it's their story of how they met and how they fell in love and their years together through the circus. And the other love story is about a woman named Rosamond, I think is her name. Yeah, Rosamond. She was from England, and there's a man named Colin who works for the circus, and he travels the world basically looking for new and interesting acts to add to the circus. So he hires Rosamond to come to America and join the circus. She is a horse person. She basically, I don't know if there's a name for it. She does like tricks on horses. I think this book was so well done. There was so many little interesting tidbits. You felt like you were like getting to see an inside look into the circus, like kind of behind the curtain kind of stuff. And it talked about other circus acts and the other people who were involved with the circus. I just found it all so interesting. I just love stuff like this. So I was so intrigued by all of this. I ended up spending 2 full days, like 2 days, completely absorbed in Ringling Brothers circus history. It's just what I do. I have ADD. And when I find a subject that I'm interested in, I have to go all in, and I have to learn everything there is to learn about that subject. So now I'm pretty much an expert on the Ringling Brothers circus. There was also faith in this book. It wasn't as strong faith elements as in The Illusionist Apprentice. It was lighter, but it was still there. The romance stuff was clean. There was no bad language in this. It was just a really good and interesting historical fiction novel with some faith elements weaved throughout it. I will definitely be picking up everything this author writes. She just came out. Is it out? I think it is out. She just came out with a new novel called The Italian Ballerina. I'm not entirely sure what that one is about yet, but I'm going to read it. Anyway, those are the first books that I have read or mostly read in the month of August. Let me know if you guys have read any of these. If you guys have read A Heart Adrift and you think I really should finish it because something amazing happens in it, let me know that down below. But yeah, that is all I got for this video. I hope y'all are having a great day, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.